I think the freedom of it, the challenge of it, when you're in the military, the service of it, when you're in NASA, the adventure of it, it just, to me, a combination of an awful lot of good things. My first flight was in a biplane out of Weimar, Texas. We were driving by on my way to school. My dad said, well, how would you like to do that? So I think it was $5. I got, 15 minutes, and the guy did a loop. That afternoon, driving back, here was the airplane with its nose buried in the dirt, and the pilot and his passenger had been killed because, indeed, he was too close to the ground. So that kind of made me pause a bit about aviation. It never crossed my mind that I would be anything but to go to the Naval Academy, and it was there that I developed my interest in aviation. But when I got in the Navy and got to fly their little N3N pontoon plane, and I thought, this is pretty fun. Well, when I went to NASA, I was in the third group, so-called Apollo astronauts, and about half of them were test pilot graduates. I was kind of on the bottom of the totem pole and had to wait a while. The Soviets were threatening a flight once around the moon. NASA, understandably got nervous, so they took Apollo 8 and deemed our flight to be a lunar orbit flight.
Fido flight, how are you? We're go flight, right on. Econ? Good and good flight. GNC? We're good flight. Booster? Go flight. Okay, Capcom, we look good. Apollo 8, you're looking good. Yeah, really.
It was just one crater after another. The closer you looked, the more craters there were. And with that, Frank turned the spacecraft right side up and pointed it forward. Frank or Jim said, wow, look at that. And here was this gorgeous Earth.
And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light. That it was good.
But I just kept clicking and figuring that sooner or later one of them would be good. Well, as it turns out, one of them turned out okay.
And God divided the light from the darkness.
And that became the iconic Earthrise picture, which I was eventually credited with. You have it in your blood or you don't. Whatever airplane I'm flying, there's hardly been an airplane I haven't liked. Yeah, my first jet was an F-89 Scorpion. It was belittled by many, called the ramp weight because of a hurricane coming. The joke was put the Scorpions on the ramp to hold it down. But it was a hell of a weapon, particularly the D model, which had 2 nuclear-tipped rockets hanging on your wings. So here I was, a first lieutenant. I could take out a whole Russian bomber squadron and probably, get the Medal of Honor, but it would be posthumously. This museum is one of the very few where all the airplanes have already been given to the taxpayers. Most of these collections, the guys, when they die or get bored, they have to sell them, and that breaks up the museum. So we're the Heritage Flight Museum. We're a flying museum. A lot of people have seen us doing air shows. I did race at Reno for a while. I still do air shows. I can basically fly anywhere I want to and go low level. I mean, I love flying low level. And so I just think it's great to have the freedom to fly, and I particularly enjoy flying formation. I enjoy leading, and I enjoy flying on the wing. If I make a bad landing, I'll make a touch and go and land again. It'll ruin my whole night if I can't end up on a good landing. My biggest fear is not dying, it's landing gear up by mistake. I don't play golf with my boys. They don't play golf either. My sons, we go fly, T6s and SNJs in formation, for our weekend pleasure. I try to fly an hour a day. Much like my dad drank a martini, I fly an hour a day whether I need it or not.